Hey guys, what's up? Von Schnitzel here. Today, I'm doing another set of duels with my favorite pair of weapons, the powerstance Nagakibas, but this time I'm testing out the Ash of War Piercing Fang. Piercing Fang is pretty interesting. It has very long reach and is excellent at roll-catching opponents that try to roll away from you. It, however, suffers from the weakness of not really covering opponents that roll inward toward you. It doesn't really have a level of hyper armor, so I'd say it's a little bit more difficult to use than some of the other Ash of War options for Katana, but it does have that excellent roll catch and range potential. Again, this is on my base, level 125 meta level dexterity character, my samurai build that I use for most dueling. Yeah, that's about it. Here's a quick look at the build, and let's jump right into some duels. So jumping right into the first match here, we're against an opponent using pikes and light roll. So it's kind of a difficult thing to deal with. He gets a double buff off, I let him do it. Going for the first attack and a whiff because the light roll is just hard to punish. I jump a little early there. He manages to hit me in midair with the pike. You can see how strong light roll is. It makes it hard to punish when he whiffs anything. So I'm kind of just looking for an opening. He goes for a fireball there. I go for the risky jump over the fireball, hit him with it, and then go for the piercing fang as he goes for one himself. But mine came out first, bro. GG. Next up, got an opponent using a Nagakiba and a lance in the offhand. He starts the battle out by two-handing his Nagakiba and jumping around a bit. He gets in close. We trade blows as he goes for a flame strike and I go for an L1. I managed to land a close-range piercing fang, and we trade blows a little bit here. I come out on top, I have the health advantage, so I go in for a few consecutive running attacks trying to finish him off. I end up panic rolling there as he runs in towards me, eat an unsheath, but I notice that he goes for a crouch roll catch there, so I just hit him with an R1 and end the fight. Next up, we got an opponent using a two-handed Great Hammer. So, typically not the most meta weapon, this is certainly a matchup that is in my favor. I kind of just need to get him to swing and then go in for a whiff punish like so. He does manage to sneak in a second hit on me there, hit me with that hyper armor trade, and he comes out a little bit on top, health-wise. So again, I'm just trying to bait him with my movement into swinging, and then dodging and then attacking him. So I get a crouch L1 there into an R1, I go for the piercing fang roll catch, but he rolls inwards so the piercing fang kind of doesn't do anything. That is a major weakness of the piercing fang. If ever an opponent wants to roll into you, it kind of leaves you vulnerable. But when they roll away, that's its strength. It kind of roll catches perfectly off of an R1. In this duel, I'm facing an opponent using the Bolt of Grant's the two-handed spear. He jumps in right away, goes for that jumping attack. I hit him with a jumping attack of my own to punish. He dodges the piercing fang, and as I try to dodge his spear hit, he snags a hit on me there. I run in, get him to roll, and then go for the L1 into R1, and then the piercing fang roll catch. That combo right there, crouch L1, R1, piercing fang, is pretty good. Next up, we have our first rematch of the day, facing the same guy that was using a Nagakiba with the offhand lance. He goes for a fan dagger immediately to disrupt my talisman. This time he's pulled out a Shamshir instead of the Nagakiba. Land a nice L1, I go for this follow-up, it does not connect, but I land an R1 on him, go for a jumping L1 that connects as he tries to swing on me, and the piercing fang just whiffs, leaves me vulnerable as I mentioned before as he rolls inward. So, I take this opportunity to switch to the Blessed Dude Talisman, get some regen going, as he gives me the space to do so. Get a couple consecutive R1s on him, we trade here, and I once again panic roll, get hit by the R2 unsheath, but he goes for a second unsheath that does not connect, gives me the opportunity to dodge his Beast Roar, switch my talismans, and I go for a ranged attack of my own, but he switches to his Blue Feathered Branch Sword, survives that lightning bolt, and as he approaches me, the fan dagger just finishes him off. Good duel, buddy. Now we got a fight against an opponent using a greatsword. So, again, if you've watched me before duel with Nagakibas, you know this is my least favorite matchup to face with katanas. A standard two-handed greatsword of any kind is just such a pain because of the hyper armor. And you can see I'm struggling here to get him to whiff something that I could actually punish without being just backhand swung by the greatswords. It's kind of just a trading fest, honestly. He goes for this cool, stylish backstep gameplay. I go for the piercing fang that just whiffs completely, but it baits him to running in, and I switch to the spinning slash to just catch him off guard and finish him off. Good duel, man. Next up, got an opponent using a shield and an Arumi. He ends up two-handing it, going in for the running attack. I whiff my rolling L1 there. So, the thing about fighting an Arumi, you have to be very careful about spacing it until you get in close, then you want to keep up the pressure. So, you can see, whenever I've closed the gap here, I've failed to land a hit. So I'm just going to keep it up until I manage to land a hit. Go for the piercing fang there, hoping he continues to go for the R1. Does not connect. The right way to dodge the charged R2 of the Rumi is roll in and to the left. It allows you to dodge the slash portion, and the stab portion just kind of whiffs you. Dodge that Rumi inwards, go for the running attack that whiffs. I pressure him here with a few consecutive running R1s, and now that I have him in close range and he's rolling into me, I just keep up the pressure by spamming him with R1s. I do some crouch R1s, some follow-up R1s, and a running R1 to mix up the timing. And you see, it does wonders there. Just the consecutive quick hits in close range is what counters whips. Next up, we have a rematch against our friend with a Bolt of Grand Sax. I roll in for a crouch L1, punish that weapon art with a jumping L1 into a consecutive L1 combo, and here I hit him with a piercing Fang. He goes for the parry, a valiant effort, but it does not connect. Good duel. Got a matchup here against a guy who jumps in right away with his dual curved swords. He does not, however, hit me while I'm in emote, so I appreciate that. I guess he just wanted to scare me. But getting right into the fight, I go for a running attack, and he keeps going for the jumping L1, so I can tell at this point that that's just a move he really wants to connect with. He really likes it. So I'm waiting for him to run into me. I switch to two-handing with my spinning slash katana on my offhand. I go for the running attack, knock him out of the air, and I'm kind of waiting for the opportunity for him to foolishly attack into me so I can land this spinning slash combo. It's a really good Ash of War to use against opponents that are using oppressive power stance weapons since they don't have hyper armor of their own. As he goes for that Godskin Stitcher swap running R2, I managed to end the fight with a jumping L1. Good duel. In this match, we're facing an opponent using something that's pretty cool. He's using a single Naginata. It's a setup that I've enjoyed using in the past as well. And to start out the fight, I throw a dagger at him, he guards it, and I go for a jumping attack as he just runs right under me. He goes for a few consecutive R1s as I punish him with the crouch L1. He goes for the Loretta's slash that doesn't quite connect, and that piercing Fang roll catches him very well, stabs him as he rolls away with that light roll, and I go for a second piercing Fang to just two-shot him as he goes for that Loretta's slash from neutral. Next up, got an opponent using a curved greatsword and a dagger in the offhand. So a very strong setup. It's a little difficult to outspace properly. Thankfully I have good weapons for the job. The reach of the curved greatswords is just really immense. I managed to hit him with a crouch L1 there and piercing Fang roll catch him as he rolls away. Generally I've learned that piercing Fang is good to use when you have a massive health advantage on your target, because at that point they're more likely to roll away and allow you to land the piercing Fang. Anyway, good duel. Have a third rematch here against my previous opponent that was using the Nagakiba and the offhand lance. We both start off by getting our boiled crab buffs going. We exchange a few minor blows here. He's going for that sort of main hand offhand vortex with the disjointed dual wield weapons. He swaps to the Black Knight glaive there. So I see that he's trying to trip me up with a swap to the halberd, so I just swap to my own, and as he goes for that vortex combo, I just hit him with a storm assault. It's a good counter to that. Curiously enough, I managed to fight another opponent using a single two-handed Naginata on the day I was playing this build. He goes for some sort of spinning Ash of War, or an R1 there, I'm not sure, but I end up just whacking him a few times, and then roll catching him as he rolls away with that piercing Fang. Again, it's an excellent roll catch when you think they're going to roll away. Following that, we have a rematch against our buddy using the curved greatsword. It's the dismounter curved greatsword. So I go in, hit him with a crouch L1, he goes to punish me, hit him with a jump L1, and we get a few trades there. He lands the spinning slash that connects on me for the true combo as I come out of the jump, and he goes for another one, but he doesn't have the health to take that trade. Yet another in a series of rematches here. Our opponent that previously was using the Urumi kind of walks in with a dagger equipped. I don't really know what he's going for. I think he's just playing a dodge game, trying to trip me up. He starts hitting me with a, it appears to be a straight sword, not actually a dagger. I go for a jump punch there, does not connect. The piercing Fang he dodges well. And he's really just going for that close range dodge focus gameplay with the straight sword. He wants to get in and spam me. But once he gets in range, I think my katana has a little bit of an advantage. I get him with a nice crouch R1 there into crouch R1 follow-up into just the L1 as he's rolling too close to me. The L1s on the power stance katanas are excellent in a scenario like this. So we have a rematch against our favorite opponent so far, the guy with the two-handed hammer. So much respect for this guy for using this weapon. It's very difficult to use, especially against someone using two katanas like I am. I connect that running R2 for the first hit, and I should not have gone for follow-up hit, because generally when people with hyper armor get hit, they'll just swing out of hit stun. So I should have known that and peeled back. It's just usually the better thing to do. You can see I'm struggling a little bit to land a hit here against him. Finding the window after he misses an attack to swing without him hitting me with the follow-up attack. The usual dance against hyper armor. He goes for a jumping R1 there that I see as a good opportunity to land a spinning slash, but he follows me up and punches me immediately with that storm stomp. So two very powerful Ashes of War at work here. I get him with a crouch R1 into the follow-up R1 that comes out very lightning quick. He didn't even get a chance to hyper armor trade. Here we have, I believe, the third rematch against the opponent using the curved greatsword. He goes in for that running R1, does not connect. I go for an L1 that was a big mistake as he whiffs the spinning slash. I go for the piercing fang to punish him. I go for a follow-up L1 that connects with the second hit, and I connect a nice jumping L1. I try to go for the roll catch there with a piercing fang, but it doesn't do anything as he just swings out a hit stun. And then I punish that spinning slash with an R2. Here we have another match in a series of matches against a two-handed greatsword. So again, I'm very wary to approach. I know he has hyper armor that I need to worry about. I go for a standing L1 there, and I get immediately punished out of neutral. I eat that jumping attack to the face. So now I'm a little bit more wary. I go in for that rolling L1 and immediately get punished. But I do have that health advantage, and I use that piercing fang for that roll catch as he rolls away in fear. For the fourth and final rematch against my arch nemesis of this dueling session, we both get our crabs up. I roll under him for a crouch L1 as he jumps right over my head. He gets a nice crouch R1 two-handed on me to stagger me enough to not punish. And we trade that flame strike for a katana hit. And once again I get lobbed in the face with his unsheath. Go for a crouch L1 into a crouch R1. And I'm really low. I'm hurting, but so is he. So I make a quick talisman swap as he gives me the chance. I make sure to strafe right as I'm in my menu to dodge the beach roar. I go for that running R2, and I do connect it as he survives again, and we both go for a swing that connects for us both to die. In this duel, we're facing the guy that was previously using the two-handed Naginata, but this time he's using a pair of curved swords. Still doing his light roll and body buffs. He goes in for the running L1, I get him with a nice crouch L1 roll catch into the piercing fang, but he bloodhound steps inwards to completely avoid the piercing fang. I get him with the second crouch L1, so he's maybe one shot from death if I manage to land another power stance hit. And I go for a jumping attack there as he connects the full running L1, does big damage to me, but I'm putting him in just range of that fan dagger KO. Now I'll be fighting someone using a claymore. He goes for that crouch R1 into a follow-up hit that I get struck by. He goes for a good try at a roll catch, whiffs, and then hits me with an R2 while I'm finagling in my menu. So he's off to a great start, and I'm off to kind of a rocky start. Now it's on me to just play a little bit more carefully. I need to play a little bit more intelligently than I have. And yet I run in with a running L1. Not really the best move to throw in from neutral at a greatsword. I panic roll a little bit, but manage to sneak away from that R2. So this is kind of a rough play game from my perspective. Not exactly playing my best right now. I land a nice crouch L1, followed by a second one to punish that storm stomp. Kind of evened up the health here. Get a quick running R1. Now he's a hit from death from anything, and he rolls inward right into the piercing fang. Good duel, dude. And for our final match, we're once again fighting our guy using light roll on the pike. So he goes for a series of buffs here. I try to punish that with a lightning bolt. Doesn't quite work, and I panic roll away from that piercing fang. It has really long reach because of the pike's base reach. Connects with me, does some damage. I go for a standing L1 thinking he might roll closer or go for a roll catch. He does not. I manage to jump over the fireball, hit him with a nice jumping L1. He dodges the piercing fang thanks to light roll's roll distance. So now he kind of returns to neutral. He goes for an attack, so I roll inwards. Go for a quick attack of my own. I'm trying to close the gap safely, being especially wary of the range that his spear has. So I go for a quick weapon swap there into the running R2 of the Godskin Stitcher. Does not connect. He goes for a piercing fang, and of course I roll inwards to kind of negate that Ash of War completely. Still continuing with our little dance here. I'm waiting for him to do something, maybe cast a fireball again. I get him with a nice running R1 there as he gets baited inward by the fan knives. And then I go for a crouch L1 roll catch, doesn't quite connect. Followed up with another L1 that does connect, and now I'm throwing daggers just to get him in reach. I go for another weapon swap, trying to close that distance, and as I see him go for that fireball, I just use a thunderbolt of my own in response, and finish him off. That's a trade I'm willing to take.